Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Drew Story News podcast. And I'm doing something unusual because I just dropped a video and I don't stack my content like that. But I had to jump on here and talk about what everybody's talking about, the slap. And I had to jump on here because I was having fun with my family. And they were all talking about it, and I was just joking around, because that's my personality. I am very playful, and I was just having fun with the topic, and talking to them about it, and really enjoying my family. I have a very special family, and we were actually getting closer, and I'm going to get to that at the end of the video, but I'm going to start about talking about the slap, okay, and why I want to jump in here and talk about it. Because based on a lot of the DMs that I get, it's when you take breaks, you realize what you mean to people. And I am really flattered, and I realize the responsibility of coming out here and not taking too long of a break. People need to hear things. And, a lot of times it's what people already know, but no one's saying it and no one's out in the open with it. And so when you have a platform that does that, they need to hear, their perspectives validated by someone, who articulates it, for them. And, it's kind of public service. And, I feel anointed to do it. So I'm going to try to keep it coming. But anyway, the slap. Now, let me preface this by saying, hang on a sec. Let me preface this by saying, this is going to sound like a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff, conspiracy theorist stuff, because, well, I am a conspiracy theorist, and I say that, proudly and confidently. It's, because I'm a conspiracy realist. The only reason why that word is demonized is because there's so many low vibrational normies that don't know what the hell is going on about anything. Jordan Maxwell, who recently died. I didn't even realize that until a friend, also awesome content creator, posted memes about him. And I've read his books for years. I've seen many of his lectures, and I didn't even know he died. But he always said, people don't know how the world works. People just don't know how the world works. And you're living in an environment where nobody really understands what's going on. So, the slap. Now, I'm going to pause my commentary on this subject here because, unfortunately, on this platform, you got to watch what you say because they're yanking things. So, you got to be careful. However, you can find the full commentary about this on Rokfin. I'll leave the link below. Now, on one hand, this seems like a likely, believable situation that because he's been being emasculated on social media for so long, with all his personal business out there. So in an emotional moment like this, he just snapped and used this moment as an opportunity to assert his manhood and sporadically just succumbed to his emotions in a moment. On the other hand, there's so many things that people don't know and don't understand about the world they live in, especially when it comes to people on the world stage, the secret rituals, the humiliation rituals, MK Ultra mind control, which is a very real thing. Roseanne Barr and others tried to expose this. And yes, staged and planned events. Sometimes the public people on the world stage are in on it and they're participating with a staged event. And many times they're not in on it. And they're more so like Manchurian candidates being manipulated or puppeteered into events or public actions. So was this situation real or fake? Well, I don't know. I can never say anything factually on my channel that I don't know for sure. But there's many signs pointing to the possibility that it was. Like many of the agendas that people didn't see that are attached to the situation. Like the coincidental spike in viewership. The Oscars ratings has been dropping steadily every year until that night. All the media networks get stake and a rise in viewership. The blogs, social media goes wild. And the system gets its much needed and well-timed distraction. They have a need to constantly distract you from what's really going on in the world. And with these celebrities, non-stop distraction. The higher you get, the closer you are to the eye and mind, and the more able you'll be to catch these downloads and see what's going on. So I'm not saying in fact this time around too, but keep in mind, many times when there's an event and there's someone running up on stage, or there's a quote unquote wardrobe malfunction, or something that just sends the social media world into a frenzy, many times it is a ritual or a staged, planned, or orchestrated event. And it would be wise to know what's going on, but to stop giving so much of our energy to these things. This is the bread and circus, folks. This is boosting what they want, boosting their viewership, boosting the Twitterverse, boosting their agenda for distraction, for viewership, this is a corporatocracy. And this stuff plays right into it. If you have a Super Bowl and there's a wardrobe malfunction, or there's someone jumping on the stage doing something, and these are not accidents, everybody's talking about it. And it diverts the public consciousness towards the trivial, towards the mundane, towards what they want you to focus on for a variety of reasons. And there's lots of reasons why they want you all talking about this, and they want to divert you all to this. So yeah, I was having fun with my family, just, playing with, the situation and talking about it. But like, when you get too close to here, you can't enjoy the fun with everybody, because you know too much. You understand too much. But, everybody's diverted toward this because they don't want you. Like, I can't, accept this into my consciousness and focus too much onto that, because when you wake up, I don't want to talk about the slap. I want to talk about these chemtrails. I want to talk about fluoride in the water. I want to talk about these GMO that they're putting in the food. I want to talk about their plans for, the jab agenda and the social credit system they're trying to push, the new world order they're trying to push. I want to talk about all these things. The banking system. We never talk about the banking system and how corrupt it is. And, buying a home, you never really buy a home. You pay city tax, you pay, there's so many things that they don't want you talking about. They want you to talk about the slap, and the issues therein. Is it real? It could be very real for Will Smith, and it could be real for, very real for Chris Rock. But is it real? No. In a different, like, this is a matrix. The world is a stage. These are manipulated events. And you don't want to put too much energy into these things. And you always have to wonder, when something happens, you should think, what are they diverting me from? This is getting a lot of attention. Everybody's talking about this. What else is going on? There's a lot of things going on. And we need to focus on those things. But I just want to make this video quick. I want you to see the last video. You can go check that out. It was more of a video essay. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And, I jump in, and like I said, I was having fun with family and talking about it. But really, really, these are distractions. They're agendas for these things. And, you don't want to get too caught up in the puppet shows that they give us on the world stage with these A-list people on the world stage. Keep your eye focused on what's really happening. And, you have to have some energy. We are like batteries. They harness our energy. They harness our minds to co-create what they want us to create. They harness our minds, our thoughts, our energy by constantly keeping it busy and controlling our minds. We have a shared consciousness in this third dimension, and you're manipulated in this third dimension, and you got to keep that in mind. Mind, no pun intended. Mind is everything. and they keep filling your mind up with what they want to fill it with and the distractions, and, you stay focused. There's a lot to contend with. There's a lot going on in the world to contend with. But, I'll talk in a different video. I have to hit my main channel up sooner or later. Like I had been delaying that. And I apologize for those who are seeing this here and they're subscribed and you're subscribed to that channel. I'm coming with, heavy artillery for that channel. It's just, it takes more time to put those videos together, but I will be doing that. And, it's family. I was, talking with my family. They gave me the idea to do this because they were itching to talk about this. And I have to say, I really, 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 enjoy my family. And I want to share a little bit about that with the rest of the world, because I realize that everybody doesn't have that. My family is very, very full of very, very, good natured people, good people, and we love each other. We enjoy each other, and we've gotten closer. Hold on a second. Yeah. Anytime you start hitting truth, there's gadgets and things trying to distract. And I realized that, and we have open forums and we have talks, and to see how everyone feels. It's really a beautiful thing. And if anyone is feeling left out, if anyone has any grievances, we talk. And that is something that a lot of people don't have. And you can see it in your relationships and play out. People don't know how to resolve conflicts. Not everybody comes from a place of unconditional love. It's like, okay, you said this thing to me or that happened. It doesn't matter. I still love you, unconditionally. And, I will make attempts to come at you. Maybe we don't have this kind of communication flow, but we can get there when we're higher minded people. And I love you unconditionally. And that's how you solve problems and conflicts. A lot of people don't have that ability, and they didn't grow up with that foundation. And, I feel like, those of us who do should, help share that with the world. Communication is everything. How you communicate and how you solve problems. And, you don't want to stay in your lower frequencies. And, what I'm doing with my family is really a beautiful thing that I try to make time for. But it's about communication. And instead of when you don't talk about things and you hold things in and you don't resolve things, you get trapped in lower vibration in energy. And you live in your assumptions and you start assuming things. Well, so she's doing this to me because I know that she's probably thinking this and he's probably thinking. You start creating projections and you just live in toxic filth that you are creating all of it. You're projecting all of it. It's not even real. And what we're trying to do is to eliminate that projections. People think things in their own mind. They feel things and they don't bring it out to the open. And bring it to the person that you have the grievance with. Put it on the table, share your thoughts instead of holding things in and, running away. And, that's not going to heal you. And what happens is you stay in toxic loops of your own mind, your own projections and it's going to punish you over and over again, the pain that you feel. And it comes from not being authentic. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to people around you so that, people do that so that they always want to appear as though I have the high ground and I'm doing something that, I need my peers to approve of. No, Source knows that you're full of shit. And therefore, if Source knows, you do. And it's going to haunt. It's going to come back karmically. You want to be authentic. You want to be real. You want to be true to yourself. Loving yourself is loving other people too. When you really love yourself and you're authentic with yourself, you're just authentic with everyone around you. You're authentic with your feelings. You're authentic with your thoughts. And you won't have the pain and the trauma with being inauthentic. That's just going to keep coming back because you're caught in these loops of your projections. Get out of that. Step out of that and raise yourself higher. Raise yourself higher in the vibration of love. not holding contempt and grudges and nah. When you do that, you do it to yourself. It comes back to you. It comes right back to you, and it goes on you, not the person, and people really can benefit from vibrating up to a vibration of love and really understanding what that is. You don't erase people. That's just not real. You're erasing yourself. And, it's going to keep hurting you. But yeah, what else is going on? I'm going to keep this a short video. I just wanted to talk about that since everybody was talking about it and people want to hear, from, not the mainstream surface conversation. Let's talk about, now I want to try to refrain from using the word normie because I actually had a conversation talking about being open and authentic and communicating. I have a friend who is who I would consider a normie. And when I say normie, I don't mean it disrespectfully. I mean it like I would call somebody a Republican or a Democrat or a feminist, or I use it as a term, a label that, although labels are not good, but it's a state of being. And I'm just a matter of fact, in your face kind of guy. I'm a straight talker. And just people, when I use the word normie, I mean someone who kind of lives their life, goes to work, kind of believes, what they see in the news. They kind of feel that they know that the news runs its tricks and schemes every now and then, but kind of they feel like, for the most part, the information that they get from mainstream legacy media is truth and accurate. And there's teams of people who are, working towards making sure things are done ethically and in the spirit of truth, when that's not true. It's a corporatocracy, and there's a corporate narrative that is protected, and very often it's lies. And the normies, and I'm going to try to stop saying normies because I don't want to be disrespectful, and I would just like to add, I don't want to take a dump on the whole industry, media, because all media is not bad. There are exemplary journalists and reporters and people in the light working in every industry, so when I go in on an industry, understand, the context and understand that it's not an attack on every journalist, every reporter. There's, lots of people in every industry, nurses, doctors, scientists, news reporters, who are amazing people who are bringing truth and integrity to what they do. So when I talk about an industry, and I have people in my family who are in media. I've met people doing the Cosby thing. I've been in courtrooms and, traveled so I'm kind of a journalist, independent journalist. So all media isn't bad. All industries aren't bad. When I say things about the healthcare industry, understand it's not an attack on every person working in the industry. There's people in the industry who are holding the light, doing exemplary work, bringing truth, as far as they can do, as far as they can control it. I'm talking about the industry, some of these industries as a whole. There's some things that are out of people's hands, and they are corporate owned and controlled platforms that, at the end of the day, certain stories, certain narratives are pushed. And, there's not much that, some of these people working in media can control, and it is not their fault. There's people there's even politicians who are amazing politicians and honest with what they do. But, when we're talking truth and we're addressing real things, and we got to be real, there is a problem with some industries, and it's coming from the top. People working in it, sometimes they work with agendas, sometimes they fight it quietly from the inside the best that they can. So just keep that in mind. I'm not attacking, everybody in the media. People who haven't been red-pilled, they don't understand that, and they're still holding on to the world as they see it. And because it's too much of an unraveling, some people are not ready to be unplugged. They're not ready to realize, like I said with Jordan Maxwell, people don't know how the world works. The medical industry is not here to heal you. The schools are not meant to teach you, how to think critically. The news is not there to inform you. That's not the purpose. The police are not there to serve you. The whole system has an agenda to make you feel as though those things are there to do those things. But no, it serves the corporatocracy in truth. When you raise up, you vibrate up, you're going to connect with mind and you're going to know that and you're going to see it. But some people can't handle it. And so I was having a conversation about, the going back to the medicine, and this friend, and I have her permission to talk. I tell her all the time because that's what I want to do. I had another conversation with another friend that didn't like something I did when it came to people, and you know what? I don't operate from my pride and my ego. I try to think about it if they have a point, and I make adjustments if they're right. So I want to be authentic. I don't want to do things that when people are not aware. I want to do things ethically and with integrity. And I tell so I'm not just talking about people. I know she knows she doesn't watch these things. She's never going to watch any of these videos. And I tell her in conversation, just so you know, you're giving me content and I'm going to talk about you, not about you. You're my friend. I love you. I'm never going to disparage you publicly, but your content, your conversation, just so you know, I'm going to talk about it because it's giving me content for videos. And she's like, yeah, she just cracked a joke. And we have that kind of relationship. But some of our conversations do give me content, and it allows me to understand how people, I'll say mainstream minded people think. And we had a conversation about this stuff. And I want to share with you so that maybe you can use it in your conversations and you could, get something from it. And I'm learning to understand how I can be a better communicator with that kind of mindset to share respectfully with that kind of mindset. And so we had a long conversation. And I checked her. Every time she started to do the usual, thing that mainstream people do, which is they think too much of themselves and their opinion because they're supported by the mainstream narrative. And those who are indoctrinated and brainwashed and, by the mainstream narrative, they think they're right. And everything that you say that's in contradiction of the mainstream narrative is wrong, is crackpot stuff, is conspiracy stuff. And she was quick to shut things down. And I stopped her with a strength of masculine energy, and checked her respectfully, not rude, not argumentatively, but it's like, no, okay, you're doing this thing where you don't understand what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. When you are only adhering to the mainstream narrative, you are cutting off, don't assume things about me that you don't know. You know me as an intelligent man. You've known me for years. And to think that I'm just wrong about everything and you're just right about everything, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to illuminate you. You're going to sit and listen to what I have to say and learn what you don't know. Don't assume that you know something that I don't. And that's willful ignorance when you do that. So you don't read anything that I read. You don't do half the work I do. You don't do much but watch mainstream news. I do so much more than you. So don't take the tone of condescension. And that's how I began. And told her, she's like, oh, you only believe the same three. You keep mentioning the three. No. When you put me in the position of having to put years of information and awakening and research into a 5-minute conversation, I might refer to the same person on the same YouTube channel or the same blogger, but that's not the source of the information. This is a worldwide thing where there's countless scientists, doctors, professors, educators who are all being silenced because they are not pharma subsidized, but they are acclaimed doctors who are sharing information, who are not playing by the corporatocracy's rules. And I explained to her a lot of the things that you read and you understand, if you stop taking the tone, and if I approach you from an intellectual standpoint, I can show you and walk you down. You're not at my level of research. So let's not do that. Let's be respectful. And I can show you what you don't know and what you didn't pay attention to. All this stuff, look at this article that you read. Look at this article that you read. Do you realize that they're all funded by Pfizer, Moderna? So you're reading information about the jabs given to you by the people who make the jabs, and you're sitting here arguing with me. Now let's talk about intelligence and information. Like, I want you to think about that. You're thinking I'm this crazy crackpot. You're getting all your information about the jabs from the people who make them. And you don't see the corporatocracy that you live in. And I had a very deep conversation with her where I took her strength away in love, not being a combative person, but, breaking the mindset of people who don't respect your side of the fence because they're indoctrinated. You hit them intellectually with reason. And we had a conversation about there's famous people who died, and my implication that it could have been related to what. And there was a quick condescension. Oh, why do you believe that? Or you're one of those. Why do you dispel that so quickly? Just throw it back. Why is it impossible? And, because, no, you see, someone who's free, someone who's a free thinker, someone who's open-minded, would know that that's actually that's a legitimate possibility, because there's a list of people, and I showed her this person in several different countries after they did the thing. Myocarditis, heart attack, stroke. But the mainstream channels are subsidized to hush. And so when someone dies unexpectedly and you're hearing, oh, it was a heart thing, it was a stroke, or, it is actually logical to think, maybe, and you know that this person just did the thing. It's actually a logical, you don't know. And I'm not saying, I never publicly say, oh, this is it. I don't know. But to assume that it could be is completely logical. And to assume that they're hiding it is completely logical. That is critical thinking. Just assuming that it's not and shutting everybody down is not logical. It is indoctrinated mind thinking, and it is willful stupidity. I'm not calling my friend stupid, but it's willful ignorance. And this is the mindset that channels like mine attempt to break. And so people don't live their lives with the understanding that they live in a corporatocracy. They live in a matrix where everything is manipulated and controlled, including their thoughts. And to communicate with that mindset is going to take love. It's going to take respect. And it's going to take patience. And it's going to take the realization that not everybody's going to go get there. And they're going to make fun of you. They're going to shoot you down. It's just like, okay, carry the message to a more receptive audience. The reason why I talk to this person is because she's my friend. I love her. She's my friend for years. And, we're having a respectful dialogue. If I were to go out, searching for friends now, no, I would probably want to be around people like-minded, but, people who are family, people who are family status through friendship, and we have differences of ideology, I will respectfully illuminate and have a conversation. And for what it's worth, everybody's on their own journey. What they're going to do is what they're going to do. What they don't understand, what they don't accept, it's really on them. But while I'm here breathing in this dimension, I am a vessel of carrying truth. And I'm going to carry it to people who are receptive to it, and sometimes people who are not receptive to it. And it is what it is. I'm going to nurture relationships, that are energetically not toxic to me, energetically are, we can coexist. We are on our own journeys, but you can exist in my realm while I'm here in this dimension. We can coexist, and I can love on you, and I could be a friend to you. I know where to position certain people. Some people you can bring really close. Some people you can be, have a respectful acquaintance relationship. Hey, borrow sugar. Like you can place people according to different things. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people closer than others, but being a source of love, being a source of respect, respecting where people are with information. And you'll be surprised how farther a message can go when they learn to respect you from how you treat them, But yeah, there's a lot of people who are still stuck in, the matrix brainwashing, and they haven't woken up to the obvious that the pharma industry is controlling the public narrative, censoring people, anything that goes against anything like they don't want. And it's gotten worse in the past 10 years. I grew up knowing that this was a problem, but it shot like worse. They're really preparing us for a new world where it's just insane. We are living in an Orwellian existence where, people are walking around like George Orwell's 1984, not really understanding that they are completely brainwashed. And, is it worth it to communicate? No, it's not my job. It's not your job. It's not anybody's job to level people up. But there is an anointing. There is a purpose in waking some people up who need to be woken up because they have something to do in their path. And so when you're a vessel to do that, there's a ripple effect of truth because some things need to happen with a certain collective of people in order to push the new world forward and in order to get to the new earth. Yeah, some people need to be clicked on. Some people do it naturally. Some people, there's people who activate other people. It's like a light. You have a candle and you're lighting other people's candle, and then their fire is going, and then you carry that message of truth, and then there's enough consciousness connected on this dimension to bring about the change that is needed. Too many low vibrational minds, it stays in their system of control, of slavery, of servitude, of oppression, of fascism, of totalitarianism. They want that. But there's going to be too many of us clicked in that's going to dismantle and destroy the system. And that's what needs to happen. All right. So I just wanted to jump in and put in my 2 cents about that. So, yeah, until the next one, guys, stay high-minded, stay open. And, I live every day battling, not falling into the lower frequencies. Stay high and be well. Until the next one, guys.